I want to mention that I'm an independent activist. I'm not part of any political group or organization, and today's focus is supposed to be about human rights. We're not trying to make this a quote-unquote political rally. Everybody is welcome to come. If you have your own signs and banners, you're welcome to hold them in your hand, but please note that this is a human rights rally, and what's especially encouraging for me is seeing political people from one side of the spectrum to the other, united together under the flag of human rights.
Hear, hear.
And I'm so happy that we'll be able to showcase this in the media, hopefully via satellite channels inside Iran, so that Iranians inside the country will also gain hope and know that we are trying to speak their voices on the outside of the country, and to let the world know that right now Ahmadinejad, that's speaking inside the UN there, is not representing the voices of Iran. There's about 140, they're each represented behind me. Please take a moment to realize that each one of those names that you see represent one child who's right now sitting in prison waiting for their execution. They don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or next week or next year. You see, under Sharia law, it states that a girl is an adult at age 9 and a boy is an adult at age 15, and therefore they're criminally responsible for their actions at those ages. The international law says otherwise. The International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights and the Charter of the Rights of the Child, which Iran has signed, forbids the execution of anyone who's committed an offense before the age of 18. But they continue to do so. Currently, as I said, there's 140 remaining on death row, and 6 children have already been executed this year. This cannot go on. This is by far worse than any country in the world. There's a few other countries, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Sudan, and Pakistan, who've executed children. 2 names here, 3 names there. Iran has 140 remaining on death row. There's one girl, Sohra Najafpour, who's been in prison ever since she was 13 years old, or 12 years old. She's remained in prison for 18 years. What they do is they wait normally they wait until these kids turn 18 and then they carry out the execution. So they bastardize the international law. But this young girl, she's been in prison for the last 18 years. She's 30 years old and she doesn't know whether she's going to be executed in any day. Sahel Rajavi was executed when she was only 16 years old for quote-unquote acts incompatible with chastity. These 2 young boys that I showed you at the beginning, they were executed a few years ago because of engaging in homosexual activity. And there's another boy, December 2007, who had the same charge and execution. Makvan Muludzadeh was also executed because of homosexuality. Now his charge at the beginning, they said he raped a boy when he was 13, but that boy came forward and said no, it was not rape, and they still carried out the execution. We must stand up like we are today. We must come out to some of these rallies. We must be behind our fellow brothers and sisters that are suffering back home.